So this came across my feed the other day, and I saw a couple articles on this. Since Kanye West has gone out there and gone full anti-Semite, you have had a situation where some more people are coming out of the closet. So let me show you this picture here. This was by the 405 in LA. So, you know, very super duper duper busy highway. It's always backed up. Look at this. Honk if you know, Kanye is right about the Jews. GoyimTV.tv. And then you can see dudes are doing the Zig Heil thing here. Looks like a woman there, dude there, couple dudes here doing the straight up Hitler salute. So this was one of the things, Corn and I talked about this, I think off air, Crystal and I were talking about this as well. This is one of the things that, you know, I thought was going to happen in the wake of Kanye really going that extra level to the extent where he sounds like he's fucking David Duke or Himmler or Hitler. What's going to happen is the more that mask comes off, the more it ain't going back on. Like, you're not going to get the genie back in the bottle, to mix metaphors here. Because, and you saw this in the Trump years too, there was a time when the Republican bigotry was super coded. They would code it. It was always, you know, that term dog whistle. It was always like a dog whistle, a wink and a nod, you know. Oh no, I'm not racist. I'm not bigoted. We just want to make sure that the illegal immigrants don't overrun the country. You know, shit like that would be said. And then as time goes by and as Trump makes more brazen statements, the mask slips a little bit. And then, you know, we just want legal immigration, not illegal immigration. That becomes, you know, the Mexicans, they're criminals, they're rapists. I assume some are good people. Build the wall. Like, so there's an evolution of the shit, right? For Trump, when him or Bannon specifically would talk about the Jews, it'd be like the globalist elites who run the banks. Like, this is how they'd talk. And that's coded because nobody likes bankers, right? Bankers crashed the economy in 2008, but it's not because they're fucking Jewish that they did that. When these guys say the globalist elites that control the banks, it's a totally different reference. It's a reference to Jews. Remember that closing ad? There was George Soros on screen, Janet Yellen, and Ben Bernanke, all Jews. You could have picked any of a number of bankers or even one, you know, Christian, Protestant banker who's an asshole. No, they didn't pick it. It was all Jews. But a little coded. But as time gets by, it gets less and less coded. We got to keep Muslims out of the country. We got to keep them until we figure out what the hell is going on. Again, mask slips. Genie gets out of the bottle a little bit. I remember when Trump was asked about David Duke basically endorsing him, and he was like, "Who's David? I don't even know who is that. I don't even know who you're talking about. I've never even heard of a David Duke. What does that even mean?" And then they would show video of Trump talking about David Duke from years earlier. It's like, you know who the fuck he is, and you know exactly what the fuck you're doing. And there's been some reporting from behind the scenes where, you know, Trump said during the whole Charlottesville thing with the Jews will not replace us, white lives matter, all that shit, that Trump was like, these are my people. So, like, I can't go after them too aggressively. These are my people. Okay. So the mask slips more and more. Now we're at the point where, I mean, Kanye is not shit. I should have queued up some of the clips from the Drink Champs interview, but you guys know the deal. He literally said at one point in that interview, I want to make it so that a young Jewish boy goes to his dad and says, "Daddy, what did we do wrong?" He's going after the, quote, Jewish media. It's the whole idea of like this elite cabal that they secretly control everything and everyone. And by the way, the criticism also is not like, hey, there shouldn't be any sort of secret cabal. The criticism is from Kanye, like, I want my people to be that elite cabal. He says it. He's open about it. Like, yeah, the way that I think the Jews run all of society and pull the puppet strings, I want my people to be able to do that, and I want to do that. Which is a fundamental, I mean, think about that level of criticism, that specific critique. It's like, I think you guys are dictators, I want to be the dictator. I mean, this guy, you could tell he's in the throes of untreated severe bipolar disorder. But now you have a situation, the Nazis are coming out of the closet now, and they're like, Kanye's right about the Jews. So, but the other side to this coin is, again, as Corn and I talked about on Kyle and Corn, is, you know, you're going to have the backlash in both directions. So you're going to have plenty of people who come out there and like, now let me go back to basics and explain to you why anti-Semitism is fucking stupid and it's wrong. But then you're going to have the others who are like coming out of the closet as massive anti-Semites. And now you have in LA on the 405, you got people doing fucking Hitler salutes, holding up signs about the Jews and how Kanye was right. And so I don't know why anybody would be sympathetic to Kanye at this point, but even if somebody was sympathetic to Kanye at this point, look at what he's bringing out of the shadows, man. This is all coming out of the shadows now. All the coded shit is becoming brazen. Now, some people might make an argument, hey, that's better, because then it's more honest, and we can name and shame the problem. But there was an evolution from the rank bigotry to the coded bigotry, because the idea was this doesn't play anymore because people know it's bogus, they know it's bullshit, they know it's fake, they know it's wrong, so now we gotta code it to make it more palatable. And I still think for the majority of Americans, bigotry would have to be coded to be more palatable, right? And probably most are not bigots at all. But I don't know, man, this stuff coming out of the shadows it's bad. It feels like there's been a number of instances within the past however many years where I feel like that old Martin Luther King quote, which I feel like everybody sort of internalized and believed to one extent for a while, that the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. At some point that ain't fucking true. That's not true at all. It's more like the arc of history is a fucking OD squiggly ass up and down left and right line, where it's scattershot, we don't know where it's going, we don't know what's happening, sometimes things get a little better, sometimes things get fucking way, way worse. And this is one of those instances here where it's like a resurgence. And final point I'll make is this. It's amazing to me how, like, far-right beliefs always devolve into just, like, Nazism. You wouldn't think that would be the case, right? You would think, like, there'd be, in the same way there's all different flavors and varieties of leftists, how, you know, some people go all the way to being like a tanky and defending Stalin or whatever. Some people are like Marxist-Leninists. Some people are libertarian socialists. Some people are left anarchists. Like there's a variety of left-wing ideas and beliefs. Some statist left-wing ideas, some anti-statist left-wing ideas, a mix of statism and anti-statism left-wing ideas. There's a whole rich history of all these different things, right? But on the right, it's like a lot of it just collapses down into like, we think Nazis were right. Like, we believe in fascism. And that's kind of fucking crazy to me, man. That's kind of crazy to me. You know, you would think that there would be some that just sort of, you know, there's other things on the menu on the far right. I mean, I guess I'm being a little too glib here, because you do have, like, the Ron Paul types who are just, like, hardcore, basically anarcho-capitalist libertarians, who they're all about the free market and they're all about just, like, massively limited government. So I guess I'll say that's one exception. But it seems like a lot more of it collapses just into fascism than I expected or most people expected. You know what I'm saying? And so it is coming out of the shadows now. The mask is off. It's kind of wild. And this is what Kanye West inspired. And I don't know how he would react to this fact. Would he like this fact? Or would he say, damn, that wasn't what I meant? I don't know. I'd be very curious to know what actually goes on in Kanye's mind if he learns that this is what he inspired. I'd be very curious to know that. But I don't think we're ever going to figure that out. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.